You might be missing out if you haven't incorporated Midjourney into your design workflow. Architecture is no longer limited to pen, paper, or even the traditional 3D tools these days. With the latest version of Midjourney version 7, architects can turn your abstract ideas into stunning visuals in a matter of seconds. We did make a video on Midjourney last year, and ever since, there have been a lot of exciting updates in the latest version of Midjourney, which is version 7. So in this video, we will take a look at all the new tools in Midjourney and give you a complete walkthrough whether you're a beginner or a pro. I'm Salman, an architect and illustrator. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon for notification. So let's jump into it. If you're a beginner to Midjourney, here's how you can get started. Let's head over to Google and search for Midjourney. Click the first link and this will open the Midjourney website. And you can sign up using your Google account or by using your Discord account. Once you log in, you are greeted with the main screen of Midjourney. Previously, we had to use Midjourney through Discord, but right now, all the tools are accessible directly from the Midjourney website. And all these visuals that you see right now are generated by other users on Midjourney. The Midjourney platform does not come with a free version, unfortunately, nor it provides any trial for students. So we'll have to pick one of these plans to get started. If you only plan on using this moderately, then the basic plan should be fine. On the left side, we have different tabs like Explore, Create or Edit and more. Let's see how to create images with prompts. Let's jump into the Create tab to start creating our images. This page is where all the images that we previously generated appears. As you can see, I've been using Midjourney for a while now and I've been experimenting with creating a lot of architectural images, interiors, graphic design and more. To create images, we'll have to use the prompt dialog box on the top of the screen. But how do we type these prompts? For instance, let's say you want to create an elevation view of a house. We would naturally type elevation view of a villa and click enter. This will give us results that are good, but definitely not what we expected. This is because the prompt that we gave was not detailed and the AI does not understand what kind of villa we want to create. This is exactly why we'll have to be very specific while describing the prompt to get our desired output. For doing that, we could use a few parameters. Some parameters could be building type or program, architectural style, materials and textures, lighting or time of day, environment or context, form or geometry, visual style or representation type, human presence or scale, design concepts or keywords. So considering all of these parameters, let's rewrite a prompt to create a villa. For this, let's say modern tropical villa in the style of Tado Ando, exposed concrete walls, minimalist geometry, teakwood accents, large glass window openings overlooking an infinity pool, frame courtyard spaces, play of shadow and light, tranquil atmosphere, photorealistic rendering. The prompt does not have to be one continuous sentence, but it could be bits and pieces of different descriptions that we want. Click enter, and now we see that Midjourney has created better looking images that are more architecturally accurate, has a sense of composition, materiality, and realism. So this is exactly why prompts play a very important role in generating images. Now what if we wanted to make a few adjustments and tweaks in the image output, like the image ratio? Here's how it's done. This time, let's try creating a cantilever home that is suspended over a rocky cliff. I've added descriptions of glass, steel and concrete and I've given a clear description. Once we do, we have a slider right here. Click that and this will open the prompt settings. Previously, we had to type in all of these manually, but right now, these are really simplified and easy to use. Let's say we want to change the image size. We can do that by adjusting the portrait or landscape settings or by using the slider for a preferred image. The mode can be in standard and make sure the version is in 7 for the latest one. Switch between standard or draft based on your usage. On the right, we have settings to adjust the aesthetics. Stylization adds more Midjourney style and character, but it will also deviate from the prompt that we provide. If you want outputs closer to your prompt, it's better to keep the stylization low. Weirdness adds a quirky character to your outputs and it's fun to experiment with. The variety option gives different kind of outputs on all 4 images that are generated. We can also adjust the speed on fast or turbo and this will affect the credits and fast stars on our plan. Let's keep all the aesthetic settings low and see what it creates. We have some really good looking results and it also stays close to the prompt that we provided. All the 4 images are also somewhat similar. Now let's see what happens when we adjust the aesthetic sliders and use the same prompt. Right there, we can clearly see how these vary from the previous images that we created. These images have more of an artistic character to it, some kind of quirkiness and experimentation in the forms. We can clearly see the differentiation right here, so you can play around with the aesthetic settings to generate the kind of results that you prefer. Creative actions give even more control and customization over the results. On the right side of each image, we have a bunch of settings. The Vary option creates a variation of the same image, and you can choose to keep it subtle or the variation to be strong and affect a lot of elements. Let's choose strong, and we have 4 variations of the same image. These images have the same artistic and architectural quality, but these are from different perspectives and camera angles. If you want a higher resolution of the image, either for printing or displays, you can use the upscale option. Let's choose the creative upscale, and this will enhance the image, work on the details, and give us a higher resolution image. Next up, we have the pan option, and this will extend the image and regenerate it in any direction that you prefer. Let's extend this below, and this will give us 4 options to choose from. The results are not always highly accurate, but you can choose the ones that work for you. The rerun option creates another set of images using the same prompt settings. The edit option opens a bunch of settings using which we can adjust the resolution, add or remove objects in the scene. Let's use the brush tool to mark the space and write the prompt to add a boat in water. We can pick the one that we prefer from these options. The next tab is called Use, and we can go through this in detail in the next part of this video. Right below, we have the Animate Image option, and this creates a 10-second animation directly from our image. You can choose manual if you want to add specific details to the animation, or you can simply use auto for Midjourney to automatically create the video. I've chosen a low motion in auto, and here are the results. There are different camera movements in each of the 4 videos. These are the kind of videos that are currently going viral on social media, and it's actually very easy to create. I like the 4th variation, where the camera pans to the right slowly, revealing the house and the water body. Let's see how we can use images from a local drive to create animations or use it as a style. Click the image option on the left side of the prompt box, and this will show a drop-down. We can upload images from a local drive in this tab, and we can drag them into any of these 4 tools on the top. The first tool creates an animation using a single frame, and for that, I'm uploading a concept design sketch that I created. Add the image into the first tab, and you can click enter without having to enter a prompt as well. This will create a set of animations automatically. These are some really nice looking animations that can be used for presentations, portfolios, or for social media. The next tool here is Image Prompt. With this tool, we can add any image from the local drive and use it as a visual prompt to influence the output that we create. I've added an image of a reception design with curved table and back paneling. Let's also describe it with a prompt and generate it. As you can see, this has taken inspiration from the image that we provided and used it to create 4 different outputs. This can be a very powerful tool in the design process in working on different iterations or understanding the client's briefs. The next tool is Style Reference, and similar to previous one, this takes the style of an image that we provide and uses it to influence the image that we create. To demonstrate this, I've used an image of an architecture collage that I found on Pinterest and tried creating a cultural center in the same kind of a collage style. I did have to run it a few times and tweak a few settings, but in the end, I was able to generate images in a very similar style to the reference. The next tool is Omni Reference, and this is quite an interesting one. You can add any furniture element and use Midjourney to recreate the furniture in different spaces. For example, let's add this peculiar armchair. We can adjust the Omni strength, and let's try adding this furniture into a home library overlooking a glass window. We have the results, and Midjourney is actually able to take these furnitures and create them in different angles and perspectives to match the interior. This can be of great use to product designers or furniture designers to create visualizations or mockups of their products. The Edit tool in Midjourney offers a lot of creative control. Right below the Create tab on the left side, we have the Edit tool. This is an extension of the Edit tool that we previously saw, and we can add any image using a URL or from the local drive. I'm adding an image that I previously created with Midjourney to demonstrate this. Once you upload, you can change the aspect ratio of the image and regenerate it. We can use these ratio settings or adjust the slider. The Paint option gives us a brush to make selection of the areas we want to edit. We can also use the Smart Select to automatically select different elements in the image. Let's make a selection of this flower vase and turn it into an antique bronze statue of a lion. Click Submit Edit, and we will have the results. The tab next to Edit is called Retexture, and this is a very interesting tool that can be used to add texture to a style. For example, let me add an elevation image of a villa, and we can use this tool to change the image into a watercolor painting. Type in the prompt, adjust the settings, and click Submit Retexture. This will give us different options of the same image as a watercolor painting. This option can be used in a lot of cases like render to sketch, sketch to render, rendering floor plans, or adding colors to black and white sketches. This tool definitely has a wide range of uses. Comment down below if you would like to see a detailed video on this specific topic of retexturing, and I would be happy to make it. From rapid concept generations to material studies, Midjourney can offer a lot of possibilities to architects and designers. I hope this video was helpful if you wanted to learn about Midjourney and elevate your presentations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts about this platform in the comments below. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. You can follow me on Instagram and the handle is right here. I'll see you soon.